on your menstrual cycle and run me over.
Really? That's what?
That's
By the way, we're live.
I know how we're going to start this today. Hello and welcome to Prophetcast. Today is June 2nd. I'm Steve Hayes, and with me today is the beautiful Dave Curry.
Oh, I thought you were going to... Whatever. Hello.
Yep, that's how I'm going to introduce you. And we are the Thought Prophets. The Thought Prophets is an atheist/secular group dedicated to the promotion of open discussion, continuous learning, skepticism, and science. You can check out our website at www.thoughtprophets.com. Follow us on Twitter by searching for Prophetcast or Thought Prophets or Thought Prophets. And you can join one of our Facebook or Google Plus groups by simply searching for Thought Prophets. Also a contributing fellow nonprofit, Candice Bell. I know, I'm a great wordsmith there. Candice Bell. Okay, she said hi. And we're doing this right tonight. And special guest is a writer for Alternet and Salon, communicator for Global Secular Council, and a columnist for American Atheist magazine. Is it Dan Arel? Is that right?
Arel.
Or Arel.
Dan Arel.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. They tried to correct me earlier. I was like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, it's great to be here on Atheist Hangouts.
Yeah, right. Oh, son of a bitch! Man, I get enough from that guy, right? No, definitely. I'm actually really excited that you're here. I read a lot of your posts that you put up, and I really enjoy them. I really enjoy the enthusiasm. You're very passionate about what you do, so.
All 800 about Cosmos?
Yeah, I did notice that. I actually went on to Alternet and Salon and noticed that all of your most recent articles are all centering around Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes, that's called an assignment.
Well, yeah. Well, come on. It's NDT. Like,
I'm sad it's going to be ending because it's guaranteed writing work, but I'm also a little excited to stop writing about Neil.
Well, it's kind of cool.
You are?
Yeah, well, no.
Why?
Are you?
Yeah,
my Twitter crush just faded dramatically, Dan. I'm so disappointed in you.
He's fun to write about, but, I mean, the creationists are kind of running out of things to complain about.
Right, you hear the same thing.
At this point, they're like, he's black.
Yeah. How would he know? He's black. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, oh, wow. Yeah, no, that's no doubt. Yeah, no, I really enjoy the show. That's...
I'm so behind in episodes. I don't even like admitting that, but
I know.
I'm so behind.
Me too.
It's been great. I mean, I love the show, and I think it's been awesome, and I love the negativity he's been getting, so I think it's really kind of highlighting some of the stupidity of creationism, and highlights the link between creationism and intelligent design. You know, they try to build that wall that they're two different things, but then when they both put out the review of the show, they're almost identical.
Yeah, exactly.
And it kind of just highlights, you know, just how close they are, and like there's this big myth that they're not one and the same, and so I kind of like pointing that out, and then I kind of like that they get really mad at me and then they complain about me.
Right. Well, and it just feels so dishonest too. You know what I mean?
Hey, all publicity is good publicity.
Yep.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Say that again.
Okay, so I have 1,000 questions, and
Starting out with power.
we've got to do the intro, because you haven't been on the show before, so you got to tell us what labels you subscribe to and how you got to where you're at as far as your beliefs or lack thereof.
Or, well, we're really trying to reword that, not necessarily
Are we?
labels, just, I suppose, because
oh my God.
Apparently there's been feedback where people don't like to establish labels for themselves, which labels, if any.
What do you identify as?
Is
that the same thing?
I'm an atheist. I'm a firebrand atheist.
We got you to say
that. Yeah, you are definitely a firebrand atheist.
I'm a Marxist socialist. That gets people fired up.
Ooh.
Let's see. I'm a secularist. I'm a humanist. I can keep going. Do you want more?
No, you hit the main one, really. We just try to capture people saying they're atheists. That way we can take that clip, and then at any point, if we ever need to use it against you, we have it. So that's all we're really looking for.
Yeah, hopefully I never have to find another real job, because if I do, my Google search is screwed.
Well, yeah. So then, I mean, how did you get there then? So I mean, did you start out as an atheist? Did you grow up in a religious family?
Yeah, I grew up in a fairly religious family. I went to a Christian school for a few years. It was Assembly of God Pentecostal, so they do the speaking in tongues and stuff, but they don't handle snakes and all that weird, the extra weirdness.
I was gonna say, speaking in tongues is it's
weird.
It's a little weird. Yeah.
I never managed to master the art, but yeah, in high school I started questioning religion, and at first, like, I didn't even know atheism existed. I thought you believed in God of a couple different religions that you have choices of, or you worship Satan. That was all I knew. So when I first kind of rejected Christianity and felt like I was mad at God for something, I just started exploring other religions, and that kind of led me down the path to atheism. Frankly, by reading the Satanic Bible. And then, like, the first chapter, they announced that there's no God and no Satan, and I was like, wait, people believe that? That's what I believe, and that was it. I finished the Satanic Bible and thought, like, this isn't for me, but realized at that point that I just didn't believe in any of it.
So then, what was the term atheist kind of something new or something that
at that point,
taboo?
Not even at all. Like, I didn't even identify as an atheist. I just didn't believe. And then, as I kind of, learned more and kind of atheism became something I knew about, I was only exposed to what I could find briefly. And this predates using the internet every day. So, this is just asking people.
That's blasphemy.
95?
Blasphemy.
And
predates I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, this is back like when you went online, you had to schedule it with your family because you were going to take up the phone time for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that part.
Minutes you had with AOL,
right?
And so
I had to get offline so that my mom could use the phone. Does that count?
Yep. And you had to run to the store like, oh shit, I'm out of minutes. I'm going to go grab another one of those discs.
Yep.
23 more minutes. Yes.
Head over to your local Walmart, pick up one of the free discs outside.
God, right.
Username.
After a while, the ones that you got in the mail just turned into coasters.
Yep.
Man, it was ridiculous. Let's not go down that conversation.
Right.
Derail the whole thing.
Nostalgia moments.
Nerd rage morbid.
Let's all do our best impression of a dial-up modem.
Yeah. Oh, look, all our viewers
I
are gone.
almost did, too.
I don't want to put people through that.
Yeah.
I almost did. It's their fault. They're watching.
Yeah,
they can click out.
Well, we know why they're here. But
in any case.
You're welcome.
So at what point did you start becoming more active and assertive in your atheism? Dan.
Let's see, through my late teens and early 20s, I would discuss it if it came up. Even in my very early 20s, my brother found religion and he got really into it, and me and him would have late night debates. But I still wasn't very openly public. At this point, I think Facebook probably had just started. Or not even Facebook, I'm sorry, MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
It was ages ago.
And so, I would post something if it came across, I don't know, they didn't have walls, whatever you call them, your comment box. I would share things I liked, but I wasn't really active in going out of my way to complain. Someone wants to come say goodnight to me.
That's fair. I will interject and say, Dan, I think that I would probably put you in my top 8 if I had the opportunity. So if I was still on MySpace, you would be in my top 8.
You want to say hi real quick?
Hi, bud.
Say hi.
Say hi.
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 Are you going to go to bed?
You are a handsome man, young man.
Thank you very much, Candice.
Not you.
Say hi.
I did say hi. I've been talking to him for a while. Can I go back to talking to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
We have permission.
Oh, good. We got approval.
Do you want to hear?
Bye.
Good, now you can hear them.
Bye, bud. Hi, man.
Can you say goodbye?
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Say good
night.
See you later.
You were so adorable.
Remember, God's not real. Oh,
Have a kiss goodnight.
I want to go play.
I want to kiss goodnight. You want to kiss goodnight when we're done?
You
I
would
gotta go,
want
bud.
to kiss goodnight.
Look at that man. Are you kidding me?
He's just,
Ready to go to work?
yep.
Smartest
Oh, yeah,
man with
we're
a neck tattoo.
Right?
You careful.
No, it's a cool tattoo. I'm going to get mine soon.
Oh,
No. Yeah, we get that same reaction. People talk to us all the time. So, yeah. So,
All right. Good night, buddy. Sorry.
that's all good. No
You're
worries.
fine.
No worries.
This is that's why we started so late, so that we can. It's
Tried to
time for
avoid that.
bedtime. Bedtime.
All right. So yes. About MySpace days, and I went. Are any of you old enough to remember the band Not a Surf?
Yes.
Had the song Popular.
No.
Yes.
Can't say
So I went on tour with them as their merch guy.
What?
that. Don't play.
And
Props.
during one of the shows, I think it was in Detroit, some guy came up to the bass player after and wanted to talk to him about God. And started talking to him, and he started to kind of debate him. And I walked over and got involved. And at that point, we had like a 2-hour, like, just go about how it's so pretty much impossible for there to be a God. There's no use. There's all these evil things happening. And we just had this whole discussion, and that kind of reaffirmed where I was, because having that discussion with somebody I didn't know, it was easy to have it with my brother.
Sure.
Having it with a stranger was a way different story, and I didn't know where their background, so I didn't know what arguments they would throw at me. And I think from that point on, I kind of became a bit more vocal.
Mhm.
And then I think by the time Facebook came around, everyone knew I was, and then this just gave me a bigger platform to kind of discuss it more. And then I think within the last 5 years, I've just got real, lose friends on Facebook because of it. And then
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That happened
start to
immediately
make a
for me.
career out of it.
Yeah.
Well, you started out pretty, hard and heavy with your atheism, also there, Candice.
Well, like my follower count seriously dropped from, I don't know, I lost like 70 people within the matter of a week.
I was posting that shit about you too, so that may have had something to do with it. I can't promise anything.
You're a dick, so there is that.
You are what you eat, damn it. Wait.
No.
That didn't work. So I guess I'm curious then, Dan. What like since coming out as an active atheist and being a lot more vocal, what kind of and especially having a kid, what kind of things have you ran into in terms of theists and other people, or even other atheists? Like one of my big pet peeves is apathetic atheists. Like it just drives me crazy when trying to have an open discussion and someone who identifies as that they don't believe in God, to just say, well, just let people have their beliefs and it doesn't affect you and blah blah blah. So I'm just kind of curious, what kind of things have you experienced since being vocal? Like, what are some of those pet peeves of yours, or things you commonly run into?
As far as atheists go, I hate the whole pacifist humanist attitude. I love humanism as a moral philosophy is great, but like this whole pacifist, like let's not rag on them for being religious. Let's find the issues that we have in common and build those. And that's great. I think finding things that we have in common with them and can work to change the laws,
Sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you get a free pass on all these horrible things that your religion defends just because you personally don't happen to identify as that.
Right.
Yeah, just
Exactly.
because you're not a horrible person doesn't mean that your religion isn't shit.
Exactly. It's like, put on these horse blinders. Look how great we're doing.
Yep. And so I have a hard time with atheists that just let that go. And I get not every atheist is going to be a vocal activist in the same way I am. And to each their own. I don't want to not everyone has to be, but they can't just be pushovers and say let them do what they want. Right. If you don't want to be vocal about it, fine, but don't speak up when you want to say, oh, it's just what they believe. That's the moment you pick to speak up, then you're hurting the rest of us. Yep. Because then other Christians go, or other religions say, how come you can't be more like X? Because they just let us live our life. And I'm not going to let you live your life if your life involves discrimination against gays, female genital mutilation, all these things. I'm not going to stay quiet.
Genital mutilation.
Yeah. And I think a good example of that whole apathetic humanist atheist is most recently with the Draw Muhammad Day. I mean, Steve posted up
an amazing picture. I am fucking like the next.
You were such a stellar artist. I was so impressed.
Thank you.
I mean, we were getting people. We were having a exchange with people on there who identify as non-believers or agnostics at the very least, and they were, criticizing Steve and myself, for drawing Muhammad, and it's like, why are you doing it? That you were being a bigot, you're being all these different things, and it's like,
oh man,
what are you talking about? Can't you understand that it is stupid to respect someone's belief where it is, if you make a picture, I'm going to threaten you with violence?
Right.
Yeah, it blows my mind. I drew a picture myself, and I got a lot of
comments. It was awesome.
I mean, I drew like a stick figure with curly hair. Like I tried to make it look as much not like Muhammad as it could be, and then just wrote the name Muhammad next to it. That's it.
I saw that. That was amazing.
There's nothing offensive about that at all.
Yeah.
If that offended you, like people were tweeting me or messaging me saying like, draw like a tampon with a turban on, and I'm like, that is offensive or trying to offend. That's actually saying, like, I'm going to try to offend you. I do a stick figure with curly hair.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant.
That could be the least offensive thing. And then to have other atheists, like, come at me and say, oh, you're just trying to pick a fight. How? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I guess at that point, I think about my drawing then, yeah. So in perspective, mine was... It was Muhammad, okay? It's a Muhammad. It was a cow pig. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But see, even that though, it couldn't be anything not like Muhammad. Like, if you drew like a picture trying to look just like him and then make it really highly offensive with something, then I can see like the argument like you're just trying to make them mad.
Right.
But I mean, like, draw something that is just so irrelevant to what the topic is.
Right. Well, and even to be mad at me, like the thing that really gets me is you're pissed off at me about my picture that I just drew, and you're not pissed off at the fact that if somebody in the Middle East drew this picture, they would die. Like fuck you, honestly. And fuck you for complaining about my picture. You should be standing up going, this is bullshit that this shit happens in 2014.
Yeah, and those are it's the whole the liberal idea that like we can't piss off Islam. Oh, it's culture this, it's culture that.
Islamophobia.
That's all being perpetrated by the left, which drives me the most nuts.
Yeah.
They're so afraid. Like, I think they're more afraid of Islam than we should be for criticizing it.
Right. Well,
they tiptoe around it, and they're so kind and nice, and you can't say this because it's not an Islam problem, it's a Sharia law problem in that country. But they forget what's causing these problems. Sharia law isn't caused just by people sitting around saying, what should we do?
Just saying.
Yeah, and Paul from Koranify Me podcast actually brought up cultural relativism and skeptically challenged says that faith healing is another great example of where people can get apathetic, which I know that you're super adamant about that, Candice.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Well, when you have people who are literally just miles away, who are fucking killing their children because their afterlife is more important than their life, like, how could you not be upset by that? That just infuriates me. And whenever I come across an apathetic atheist, as you guys have been talking about, it's like, how is that okay? Like, Mama Atheist was tweeting earlier about, she was like, hashtag to each their own. It's a dangerous statement because faith healing. Let my child die because I believe in God. To each their own. Like, stoning somebody to death. To each their own. Like, that's not okay.
Right.
I don't care
Somebody
what
likes
you believe.
people. To each their
You
own.
are hurting somebody else. Sorry, I just got a little angry.
My friend Liz, Liz Haywood,
happened.
she blogs under the name One Leg Liz. I think when she was 14, she fell off her horse and broke her leg severely. And her parents put her in bed and called their faith healing doctor to come over and pray over
This
it.
is a priest.
And
Wow.
her bones and her knee fused locked. So she couldn't even bend her knee. It was all shattered and broken and fused together. And they had her wrapped in that religion so tightly for years. She was bedridden for years on end as a teenager.
Did she blame herself?
Yeah,
That she didn't have enough faith?
Yeah.
I don't know that she blamed herself or not. I'd never actually asked her that, but she just I'm trying to think
I
of
know
the
that
speech she gave, and I think
that's
there was
common. Is if you're not healed, then you're either a bad person, a sinner, or you didn't have enough faith. And those are the common things that it's blamed on. Is obviously if you weren't healed miraculously, then it's because God chose not to for whatever reason. And so there's a lot of guilt.
Maybe it's in his plan.
Yeah,
right?
or
maybe he's done this so
it's
that
part of
way
God's
you can
plan.
meet somebody else that whatever, right? Some nonsense. However you want to try to piece this shit together.
Yeah, when she finally left, I think in her 30s almost. Like, it was a while after she finally got out of that religion, and she finally went to a doctor for the first time and had her leg looked at, and the only way to take care of how bad it was to take it off.
Re-break it? Oh.
No, they amputated. And that's why she blogs under One Leg Liz.
I was just going to say
All because her parents didn't want to take her to a hospital and thought that God
Well, it's like,
Yep.
there's a 15-year-old girl, not to dismiss Liz's pain, not at all. There was a 15-year-old girl out in fucking Caldwell, Idaho, which is just whatever. But there's this 15-year-old girl, she choked on something, she got food poisoning, and she was throwing up so much that she ruptured her esophagus and was like having went into cardiac arrest right there in front of her parents, and all they fucking did was this. Like, the entire time. Their child, their baby girl, is going into cardiac arrest from throwing up, and instead of calling an ambulance, they pray. That is why religion needs to be eradicated.
Yeah, that's why, to each their own doesn't work.
What the fuck did she ever do to deserve that?
All right, I have the same
Same
exact type of thing where I was sitting here and I fucking lost my car keys, and I prayed. I was sitting here praying for I don't even know how long, and I still can't find my fucking car keys.
Ah, damn it. Well, it's a part of God's plan.
Their own.
You know what I mean? To each their own, exactly. Fuck that. So, man, yeah, that's just infuriating. And
if you've ever read Sean Faircloth's book,
so Nine Ball.
Yeah, that's a cool question. So Nine Ball asks, what is the most infuriating question?
Way to totally interrupt our guest, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd rather do the question.
Sorry. Well, what is the most infuriating question theists throw at you? Well, shit, I mean, if they're throwing something.
I know, that's not very nice.
What kind of conversations do you get into, man? Holy shit. Man, yeah, Dan, what do you got?
Most infuriating. I think the one that gets me the most, I think, and it seems silly, but is the look around.
Yes.
When you're debating one, and look around, and I look around and I see cancer and kids starving and AIDS and war
parasites that eat out your eye.
Parasites that will eat you alive. I see a complete, drought. All these things that would be, if I was a deity of some sort, I would have solved
That gave a
long
shit,
ago.
right?
Even if I messed up and
Right.
made the Earth and went, oh crap, this causes cancer, I'd just fix it because apparently you can do that.
Right.
And so when they say look
You would
around, like,
think.
it just drives me nuts. Like, because it's sure, you know what? I look out my window right now and I can see Jupiter right now, and I can see the moon right there, and it's great, and it's beautiful, and it's inspiring. But it's 2 seconds, and I
Not
look down
proof
and I
of
can see a
God.
kid. I can see a kid in a wheelchair going down the sidewalk.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's that confirmation bias. Even like how they look at their freaking book. They look at all the good shit. They look at all the wonder in the world, and yet they don't really take into account all of the horrible, horrible shit that is going on as we speak right now. Like, right this instant, there are women that are being treated as property. Right this instant, there are children that are dying of starvation, and there are people that are just going through horrible suffering, but they don't think about that. They just look at all the good stuff.
Oh, and then they have an excuse for it, and they'll blame us for it. They'll say, well, it's humans because we sinned.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry, but if that story of Adam and Eve is true, and I'm paying for the sins of some naked asshole eating a fruit,
Right.
then fuck that. Like, that's not my problem.
Exactly. Not
The sins of the father doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. Like,
right. Not even just a naked asshole, naked naive asshole. Right. Like, they didn't even know good and evil. They were just like, fuck it. The snake said do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. I mean, shit.
And if
I
we
think
have
the
to deal with
most-
cancer for someone eating a fucking apple,
Right.
Right?
It's been a damn good apple.
Oh God.
I think
I think the most infuriating question that I get, and I'm totally taking this, if you guys were thinking of it, fuck you, is how can you be moral without God?
Oh,
Dang it,
yeah, that was
that's
totally
the most
mine.
infuriating one for me.
that
is
was
because,
mine.
I get so angry. I'm like, how can you be moral with God? Like, do you really need morality, like a God with these infinite consequences to make you be a good person? Like, I'm
At that
I'm
point, are
good
you
because
really
I choose to
a
be
good
good. I do as much raping and murdering
Right.
as I choose to.
I usually just
Oh yeah,
actually a lot.
that is all of
right. No, I usually when I get asked that question, I
Well,
usually
so
just
far.
lean in.
so far.
I lean in nice and slow, and then I whisper in their ear, "There's nothing stopping me." That's about it.
I am Dan earlier, and I was like, shh, just let it happen.
Oh yeah. David, what about you? What's your?
Candice stole
I
mine.
know she took mine too. Now I gotta think of something better.
I mean, I think
Aww.
probably
Yeah.
Maybe you should have jumped in sooner.
going along with that, and this was, part of my personal experience that I had with my family, is that the Ten Commandments are the basis for all of, the laws throughout every civilization in history.
Well, that's a lie.
I know.
That's
Yeah,
just
that's
a lie.
exactly. It's
No, it's
like
not. It's in the Bible. It's
what
not
if they
a lie.
Lying-
for the Ten
Lying
Commandments?
liars who lie out of their lying liar hole.
Yeah, like what did the Jews do before the Ten Commandments? I mean, were they just like
Raped and pillaged.
raping and killing? And well, obviously,
Obviously.
it Genesis.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that one's a frustrating one. I mean, you guys all
We're
got
getting some
good
really
ones.
good questions tonight. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is cool. Well, yeah. As for me, I don't really know what my most infuriating thing is. Yeah, I don't know. I always just get a kick out of like that we're a Christian nation, or that that's where or even actually, you know what? Not even Christian nation. I think the one that I think is funniest is turning around and asking a Christian, "Hey, real quick, can you give me the Ten Commandments that you're talking about?" And God, that is great to watch them. It's love thy neighbors, number 1. No. Okay. It's not work on the Sabbath. No. It's no. I don't know. Whatever. That just cracks me up every time.
Hey, I'm totally doing that next time.
You should.
Oh,
Like,
I have another
seriously,
fantastic
it's
question.
great. Which one? Which one do you want me to hit?
Hold on, let's ask Paul's question from Kiranify Me. Dan, tomorrow you wake up, you have $50 million given to you by a secular genie. You can do whatever you want with it, but it has to be spent on one humanist cause. What do you do?
Prophetcast, stop prophets. Prophetcast, stop prophets. Come on, dude.
I write about humanism, so I'm kind of a humanist cause.
Yeah, right. Go to yourself, hey.
Exactly.
I had to give to one humanist
50 million.
cause. 50 million? Oh damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be feeding some people, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bill
50 million
Savelli.
is not going to feed as many people as I'd like it to, but I mean, people are hungry, and I live in San Diego, which is the most perfect weather in the world. So our homeless population is through the roof because people come here because living outside is easier. You don't have to deal with snow. It almost never rains. And when I walk to work every day, I have to walk past like tents and like little villages of homeless people, and they're always asking me for food or for money, and I do
You
what
only
I can,
have so
but
much to give out. Yeah.
it kills me because I got nothing to give them.
Yeah.
If I have some leftover food with me, then it's yours. But it's not like I can just sit there and take them all out to eat. So if I could do something, if I knew that there was an organization that would help, feed them, clothe them, house them, and all the money would go into that, then that's what I would do for sure. I think it's easy because it's something that affects me directly because I see it every day.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a good one, irrespective of if you see it or not. Like that's, knowing that you're helping other people, children, families, those people getting food, trying to get through the day. Yeah, that's commendable.
I know this question wasn't directed at me, but I think for me it would be the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
it wasn't.
Dan.
No one cares.
Dan.
Shush. In any case, no, child abuse victims, because, well, you guys obviously know how infuriated I get with faith healing. I consider that child abuse.
Yeah.
And anything with getting children out of abusive homes and into, like, even better foster homes where they don't have to worry about the next time that they're going to get hit. That's probably where I would put it, because I don't know, that's
Well, if we're going to go around,
abusers.
if we're going to take over this question away from Dan, I would just
totally
say Red Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Cross. I mean, they're a secular organization, and they do so much good stuff.
I would donate mine to my friend who is doing the Warrior Dash. I would donate all 50 million to the Warrior Dash.
St. Jude's Hospital?
Yeah, St. Jude's Hospital Warrior Dash. But I would give it to your wife, and I wouldn't give it to you, so that way she would have 50 million, and you would have what, $30? I believe that.
I'm up to like a couple hundred.
35.
It's your own money too, isn't it? You just keep dumping your own money to yourself. It's fine. I don't mind. I'm not judging. Everybody else might be judging.
I'm judging.
See?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I also noticed there's some absolutely beautiful and probably one of the most intelligent women I know who really wants us to get to Martin Pribble's.
You really want to get laid tonight, don't you?
I'm so hoping for it.
Martin Pribble.
So Martin asks, David, why don't you go ahead and tear it away? I'll give you some
tear it away. Is that what you tell him?
Tear it up.
On Saturday.
Blame the drugs, all right? All right, blame the drugs.
Like, I know you guys have a bromance going on, but I don't think that needs to be in the show.
Well, I just want to make sure Dan knows everything about us, so that way the next time he decides to come on the show, he's like, oh, fuck no.
Maybe not.
Okay. Yes, there is a bromance. But Mr. Pribble, Mr. Martin Pribble asks, what do you think of the idea that patriarchy is to blame for the recent mass shootings, much in the same way religion is blamed for stoning to death of women?
Which I think this kind of fades fairly well with the hashtag yes all women.
Right. Yeah. And Amanda seems to think that you have some really insightful things regarding the yes all women hashtag following the shooting.
You do. I'd love to hear some more about it.
All right.
No pressure.
I think that it is an underlying factor in what happened. I don't think we can completely blame it all on one. You can't just say it's patriarchy and misogyny or misandry or anything. Not one thing's going to be the blame for the shooting. It'd be too simple if we all just focused on one exact thing and said this is what caused it, and then we ignore all the other factors like terrible fucking gun laws and selling guns to a guy with a history of mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
But
and mental illness to begin with.
And parenting, to get down to it. I mean, he learned that from someone. He learned that from somewhere that, women are his property and that he has the right to a woman.
Yeah, but he had mental health issues. Like, that's not... you can't just say, he was a misogynist.
What?
I think having mental health issues probably brings out those issues that he's having. Yeah, thank you for a nice big word there for me. But yeah, so you have this idea that you're getting rejected all the time, and you have this society's kind of idea of the friend zone and how to treat women, and then mix that with a mental illness, and you don't understand it correctly. And I think what brought this to light more isn't so much that it was him, but it's brought to light, I think, and this is where yes, all women comes in, is that it's not just men with mental illness that have these ideas about women in our society and how we treat them. And while I don't want to just say this is all the only thing we can blame for this shooting,
hashtag not all men.
It brought to light a bigger problem. And people keep getting mad and saying women are taking over this shooting and making it all about them. But I think it grew on its own. I think it started as one this shooting is caused by this, and then it grew into a whole other idea. And I think even now it's still going. I still see him coming across my timeline. It's not about the shooting anymore. It's about women finally getting a voice. And sure, the shooting kind of was a catalyst to that, but let's not let the shooting be lost.
Yeah,
completely.
actually,
And if that's the catalyst it needs to be, then it needs to be that. And we have a lot of things to discuss after this shooting, and the way we treat women is one of them.
I completely agree. There was one thing that you said, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but yeah, it really resonated with me, which was, kind of along the same lines where, we know it's kind of both sides. We know there's things going on both sides, but men, let's not take this away from women. Let's not take this thing that happened and bring it back to men, just because we can, or we want to, or we think it's ridiculous that women keep trying to take things. I think it is important, and I just thought that you saying, hey, it's we recognize that sure, it might not be all men, but let's focus on this yes all women thing, because that is important, and let's not take it away from them. So.
It was all the guys complaining about it that even made me. I went on one night. I just went on a total bender and just sat there and tweeted out everything I could think of that was yes all women, because all these guys were sitting there complaining about it. I'm not like that. Well, yeah, I'm not like that either. But you know what? Part of me was like that as I was growing up, and I had to overcome those things on my own. And I know people that are completely like that. I sit on if I go on a bus, if I am in line somewhere, if I'm at a restaurant and you hear guys talking, guess what you hear?
Right.
You hear this shit.
Right.
And you hear, oh, she said no to me. This, and people get like they have some right to people and all these different things. And that's, I tweeted out, and the news story changed a little bit, but I think the message stayed the same. Was I tweeted something like, yes, all women, because girls are sent home from the prom for turning on the dads.
Right. Oh God, that was.
Now that story did change a bit. I don't know how much it changed from pressure for the girl, but she kind of changed her story a bit. But she's not the only case, and it's not. You don't have to look and say just the prom, but girls dress a certain way, and then they're punished for it.
Right.
And it happens
absolutely.
every day. And
which actually kind of
goes along with the topic.
Topic that we were going to be discussing possibly tonight. I guess I can go ahead and go over from that. I mean, speaking about girls being shamed for what they wear to school and for before they're legally allowed to wear whatever the fuck they want. A school in Utah photoshopped a majority of the female student body. They were altering female students' yearbook photos to make it appear as though they were wearing higher necklines, longer sleeves, and it wasn't even that they did all of the girls. They did some of them, and the students complained that the editing appeared to be somewhat random. Even girls who were wearing similar shirts, like one girl was wearing, a regular, tank top. One of them would be edited, one of them wouldn't be. The school's only complaint when these issues were brought up to them, their only complaint is that they were not more consistent. Terry E. Shoemaker, the superintendent of the Wasatch County School District, said, "We only apologize in the sense that we want to be more consistent with what we were trying to do in that sense. We can help kids better prepare for their future by knowing how to dress appropriately for things."
Dress appropriately.
Yes, and part of their dress code, and this is a quote out of the Wasatch School District's dress code, is that modesty includes covering shoulders, midriff, back, underwear, and cleavage at all times. The policy bans short skirts, spaghetti straps, crop tops, and anything that is too tight and revealing. And cross-dressing, of course, is also strictly prohibited.
Son of a bitch! I was just going to ask if this counts with only women, because there's a number of those. I look good in some of these skirts.
And honestly, I mean, if you take a look at the majority of school districts' dress codes, sure, they'll say things about, you can't have, inappropriate logos on your shirts, but the majority of it is, policing what the girls wear because they don't want to have them distract all of the horny boys and all of the teachers and all of the, during dances, all of the students and all of the parents showing up.
Yeah, the turn your shirt inside out thing. I had to do that once at school. I had a shirt that said Dan Arel freed my mind, and they told me to flip it inside out.
Yeah, I got in trouble in high school for wearing a shirt it was a Marilyn Manson T-shirt, and it said, "If you meet your master, kill him," and it was a cop holding a gun to his head. And
wow.
I was sitting across from someone who had a church shirt on, and I had to turn mine inside out.
Of course.
Wow.
Well, of course.
Now, maybe because there was a cop with a gun to his head, maybe slightly inappropriate for school, but
details.
All these rules apply to girls, always.
Exactly.
Girls can't wear. I bet if I would have had my high school picture taken at that school and I wore a V-neck, nothing.
I would like to see that picture.
I mean, I used to wear, every once in a while, I would wear, a tank top, I hate this term, but a wife beater. Fucking hate that term, but...
You're an asshole.
I know, and, if, a girl would be sent home for wearing that, but because, I don't have tits, I'm allowed to wear that because I'm not as distracting as a girl with cleavage.
Well, it's probably because you don't have nice-looking titties.
I know.
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have this whole notion in this country, and it starts just like this in school, that girls are supposed to look a certain way, and they're not supposed to turn on guys, and we do everything to protect the guys from getting in trouble. I think during the whole Yes All Women, Amy Mann, the singer, tweeted out, Yes All Women, because when I called the cops to report my attempted rape, their first question was, "What were you wearing?"
Wow.
That's bullshit. I didn't even know that. That's...
I only know that because we were both mentioned in a People magazine article together about it.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That was awesome. That was really cool.
No, and I mean, that really is kind of a thing also that's perpetuated through, especially through religion, especially the conservative and Islam, is that, women deserve to be raped, or they got what was coming to them because they were dressing slutty or they were dressing provocatively, and it's kind of a you get what you put out there, and it's not the man's fault for raping you. You were dressing it provocatively.
Because there's no such thing as accountability. Like,
no, not for men. Not for not for white men. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're men. How can we control? Yeah, white men though, because if it was a black guy, forget it. That would be it.
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly.
Oh.
Yep.
I mean, man, there's so many issues we could go about with discrimination.
There really is.
How long is this show?
What? You're right. Exactly. Actually, I wanted to get in one of the issues that I thought was really important. Cranify Me says that he would give the $50 million to an interior designer who could fly to Candice's house and fix her blinds.
There is nothing wrong with my blinds. Like,
all right.
Hold on.
I'm gonna hire.
It's like,
you know what? I was white trash at one time in my life too. It's cool.
Stop it. I'm going to call you a cunt pickle.
It's really windy out. Does the double wide shake a lot?
Yes. That's awesome.
Wait, what? I was interrupting, so I didn't hear Dan.
You'll have to watch the replay.
Yes, you're gonna have to watch the show again, sucker. Awesome. All right. Well, since I'll just jump off to another quick random. Well, do we want to do? I mean, actually, do we want to hit up on any more?
Well, I mean, I really feel like that we need to talk about your book that you have coming out here, Dan.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I've been reading through, and I think we all have read through Parenting Beyond Belief.
Yep.
So it's really awesome to have more authors to try and come out and make these secular parenting books, because recently my wife and Deanna and Steve's wife Amanda, they were looking up for parenting books, and Amanda found a book that seemed like it was a cool child psychology book, but then it snuck in a bunch of religious bullshit in there.
Right.
So I guess, like, what can you tell us what to expect from this book? Like, what inspired you to do this?
I was inspired kind of off the wall. Like, it wasn't really. I've always kind of had the idea, like, oh, I want to write a book, because I think a lot of people get that, though, and, like, no one ever does it. You're like, oh, I'm going to write a book someday, and then you just don't. But when I kind of became really big into blogging and writing openly about atheism, I did a post called, I think, Secular Parenting. I don't even know. I named it something catchy at the time. And I just talked about, like, the problem of indoctrination on our side. If I tell my kid goes, what are we? I go, you're an atheist. That's no better than, what am I? You're a Christian. Like, you have to avoid that. And I just wrote a post about it.
Do children ask those questions?
I think so. I asked.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because your son is younger than my eldest.
Mine hasn't asked the question yet, and it'll be a while before
I'm going to call you out right now, sir.
Well, I didn't write it saying that my kid said it. I just said kid.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I think especially once they.
But do kids ask that?
I asked my
parents. What am I as far as religious beliefs?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't recall ever asking. I don't think that's ever. I've never heard that before in my entire life.
Yeah, because I wanted to go to when I was a kid, I wanted to go to a friend of mine's church, and my parents wouldn't let me because they were a different kind of Christian.
Different denomination.
Oh,
different denomination. Yes. I was Pentecostal, and they were Episcopalian.
Yeah.
Oh.
And apparently, New Hampshire, that's bloody Christian.
Dun, dun, dun.
But so I didn't get to go, and I remember, I used to ask them about like what we were and stuff like that. But mine was, a lot of, at school. I remember kids bringing it up. Granted, I did go to a Christian school. We weren't all the same religion at this one Christian school. It was just a kind of a blanket Christian academy is what it was called. It wasn't really a, you're this kind of Christian at this school. We talked about what we were. And I just wrote this article, and Emily Deedle, who runs EmilyHasBooks.com, who I was blogging for at the time, said, you should so write a book about this. And at that point, I mean, I had done 2 blog posts for her. I had 240 Twitter followers. You know, sure, I'll write a book about that. And then the idea kind of sat with me a bit, and I started just kind of jotting down notes, and a book came about, and then I got a book deal, and
That's awesome.
now it's the real deal, and it's with the editor right now, so I'm impatiently waiting.
So I guess, really, how long have you been working on the book then?
I started almost a year ago. It's probably about 10 months ago.
Not
So
bad.
it's really
That is
weird.
so
I worked on
exciting.
it for like 10
I'm
months
so
straight.
excited for you.
It's a good
almost every day.
turnaround time.
Hell
Now I'm
yeah.
not doing anything. It has a title finally.
Lies. You
Yeah,
were
so
avoiding
you-
me earlier because you said that you were working, which
Yeah,
is just like avoiding Candice because she
I was
fangirls too
working, but
much.
it's not on my book.
You blog like Candice tweets. That's what's
Erratically and horny.
Darren lies.
yeah. And that, yeah.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Really?
And then, what? Well, no,
Dan.
the real question is, really, Candice? Really?
Really?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Okay. Let's not play this game.
But nobody's ever called me out on it before.
Well, it's a good thing that it ain't recorded in live or anything like that, so you're good. Feels
That could be your ringtone.
right.
Shut up. You're no longer my Twitter crush, and I hate you a little bit.
So the book itself, back on subject.
Right. Yeah. What should we expect from the book?
Back to the lecture at hand.
So it is a mix. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. So, like, you know, Dale McGowan's written a few great books about how to, like, raise free thinkers, how to do. But I think all these books kind of hover around just secularism, and so they really do appeal to the whole, like, maybe you are kind of a nun, where you maybe still have this concept of a deity of some sort, but not the Christian God and not these things, and you can still read it and relate to it. And I think he got a lot of great reviews about that. And that's not really my thing. When I started writing it, I used the word humanist a lot, and then that word became atheist, and then I went back and edited it to take out the word humanist and just use the word atheist, because that's how I talk, and that's who I talk to. And so it starts off, the book is broken into 3 parts, and the first part talks about just science and education and kind of how it's under attack, being attacked, and ways to talk to your kid about it. So if they come home and have questions about what religion they are, or someone at school talked about going to church and why don't they go to church, and it kind of talks about these basic things that we all, you know, end up dealing with at some point. And I remember my parents dealing with it and how they handled it. And so I mix a little bit of my own personal life in there, and then how I think the best way to answer these questions is. And then it switches to a whole call to action. And I start telling parents to come out and be active, because I know so many parents who are atheists that don't talk about it because they don't want that to affect their kid's life.
Exactly.
And that's it's such a cop-out. And if it's only, well, I guess it's such a cop-out if you meet a couple criteria. Your job and your life aren't at risk.
Right.
If either of those are at risk, don't come out, because no matter how much I want you to come out, I don't want you to lose your job and everything that goes with it, and I also don't want you to put you in physical harm.
Right.
But if you're only doing it because you're afraid, oh, but then other kids will think, or other parents' kids will think this, that's not a good enough reason.
Yeah, I agree.
You need to come out, and you need to, I mean, you shouldn't hide who you are from your kid. Number one, you're teaching them a terrible lesson to be ashamed of, you know,
Right.
who they are, regardless
Definitely.
if it's atheist or not, whatever they are. If they're gay, straight, transgendered, they need to be ready and proud to be who they are and state it. So come out and do that. Number 2, if you go to a PTA meeting and someone brings up that they want to take and redo the science curriculum because it goes against their religious beliefs and they want to take out evolution, and you're too afraid to stand up and defend it because it might out you, then you've just done your kid a disservice and all the other kids a disservice.
Right, because if no one else stands up, guess what? They win. And,
Yep.
and
you know what? When you come out, other people come out.
yes.
And you know what? Your neighbor could be an atheist who's just as afraid to come out as you. And when you do it and they see that nothing horrible happens to your life, they're going to come out too.
Yep.
Or if something does happen to your life and they get mad that it did, they're going to come out and support you.
There you go.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think you build community that way. If you sit there and hide behind it, then you're never going to get anywhere. And then,
Right.
like I said, you've taught your kid a terrible lesson to not be who you are, and you miss out on all these great opportunities to. I mean, we don't think enough about voting for candidates that support our cause and being vocal about who they are. So we're like, oh, I want to vote for so and so because they do this. Be honest that you're voting for them because they're secular. They might not be an atheist, but be honest about why you're voting for people, and spread these whole ideas of secularism and getting this church and state divide put back in place, because it's gone. We've lost it.
Speaking
That
of
wall
which,
crumbled and
in
then
God we
bulldozed
trust,
away,
apparently,
and they
is
built
still
a
going to
church
be
out
on
of
our
the
money.
rubble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
And so, and I talk a lot about how to educate your kids about gender and race, because I don't think I didn't get that at all growing up. My parents didn't talk to me about race. I mean, I knew there were different races, but I thought they were really different than we are.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was skin color.
Yeah.
Oh, you're born in this part of the country, and your, evolutionary adaptations have you look like this, because it benefits you in some way. And then they come to America, and they look like that around you. And I thought different things about people, and I thought, the Bible tells you that these are lesser people. Why wouldn't I think that? And then even when you lose your religion, that doesn't automatically go away.
Right.
Like,
Right.
You don't lose your religion and go, oh, all black people are the same as us. That doesn't just happen to you. You have to be taught that, and you have to learn that race, just like gender, is a social construct. Like, it's been built up around us. Now, it matters because a social construction is still a part of society. So you can't just brush it off and say race doesn't matter, because obviously it does. Because look at the prison population. Look at the whole prison system. It's all racist. So race matters, even though we've invented it. So you have to teach them what it is and why it's important, and how to be accepting of all people.
Yeah.
And what, I put a lot of stats in there that it's a little overwhelming, but, about our discrimination against African Americans in the prison system and drug use and all these things, because we need to teach our kids these things, because they need to see how warped it is and how unbalanced it is.
Right.
And I talk about gender, where be whatever gender you want. If you wake up on one day and you're like, I'm going to dress like a man today, and you wake up the next day and say, I'm going to dress like a woman, awesome, do it. And if your kid knows someone that does it, they need to understand that it doesn't matter.
Absolutely not. Yeah, our kids, I got a 6-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and just the other day, my 3-year-old was walking around, I'm the princess, and I'm blah blah blah, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, all right, princess, hop over there, get in the trampoline, and we'll fight. Let's go fight the demons. And he was like, all right, well, I've got princess fighter power. Bam, fuck it, who cares?
My daughter, oh my goodness, Rafe he had his Batman thing going, and he's like, I'm Batman, and Jackie immediately pops up with, well, I'm Bane, and starts beating the crap out of him. I'm just like, I think I should stop this, because am I the only one seeing this right now? This is fantastic.
And then,
and she did not give a shit that Bane was supposedly a male character. She's like, Bane is badass, and that's who I want to be. So that's who I'm gonna be Bane, and Rafe can be Batman, and I'm gonna beat him up. That's what she did.
That's awesome.
And I end the book with stories from other people. I had a couple of submissions.
Nice.
To kind of give another perspective, so it's not just me telling you what to do or saying what I think you should do. I picked a couple writers, and I kind of discussed subjects with them and said, I talked about that in my book. Why don't you give a story about how you handled it? Because you have a 12-year-old, like Jake Fodworton.
Jake Fodworton.
I love Jake. We're gonna have him on the show and have him host.
Oh yeah.
You don't want him on the show.
Well, we only want him for his viewers, not really for him, to be completely honest.
Whatever.
You don't even want all
honestly,
10 of his viewers.
Really.
My husband
Well,
is a huge fan of Jake's beard. Like, whenever I talk about Jake, he's like, is he that guy with, the perfectly unperfect beard? And I'm like, yes, honey.
It always makes me break out, though.
Yeah. I'm a fan of his autocorrect because it's usually Jake Fart Warden, and that just cracks me the fuck up every single time.
But yeah, I had him contribute a story, and so a couple things like that, and like let them kind of go, and then I give my final conclusion on the book. But the foreword,
I'm so
written
excited.
by Peter Boghossian, which is
Nice.
the most exciting part for me.
Amazing.
That's way cool.
And he is so nice too.
Do you have like a release date on this book or anything, or is it still? Is there anything keeping it from?
It's still up in the air.
The publisher is still being a jerk.
The publisher, well, so everything all happened at the wrong time. So I pushed the book back a few times to get it finished, and they were very, very nice about it. And they said, take your time. This is your first book. Let's make it right. And I finally finished it. And on my flight to and from the American Atheist Convention, I read it twice and, went through all my edits. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I got my last story, which was from Jake, and I put it in the book, and I fit everything in. And I went on vacation in New Hampshire, and I was 2 days early on the date to pass it in. And I put the email together and all the information they needed, and I put the book in the email. I hit send, and I got an auto reply. I'm on vacation for a week and a half. So like there was this whole like anticlimactic like I sent it in 2 days early. I was super excited. Oh, you're not even in the office. So I get back from my vacation and I get an email and it says, "Awesome! I've sent it off to the editor. By the way, they're inducing my wife right now, so I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks."
Jeez.
Dang.
So it's with the editor, but I haven't heard.
Damn.
I haven't heard. I've had one email in between April 29th and today. In between, we got the book, and in between that, we picked the name for the book, which is "Parenting Without God: How to Raise Moral, Ethical, and Intelligent Children Without Religious Dogma."
Nice.
Very
long title.
I like it.
Pretty long
That is
time.
a very long title.
Well,
It's a
that's
mouthful.
the second part's the subtitle. It's "Parenting Without God." That's all you need to know.
Okay.
We tossed around a bunch of other ideas, and that seemed to be the one that really stuck out. And do you guys know C.J. Werleman? The fantastic author.
Yes.
Yes, he.
I
weighed
know about your man crush on C.J. Werleman. Like,
little bit.
you totally have a man crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went out to
Little
eat
bit.
together with a big group, I made sure I sat next to him. Yeah, no,
Did you grow
CJ's just
Yeah.
CJ's responsible
him?
for my book deal, so I owe CJ a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the one that got me. I'm using the same publisher he uses, and it was his call. He basically told the publisher to do it, and they did it.
Excellent.
And
That's fantastic.
so yes, I will.
No
I
wonder
have a
you
man crush on him.
fangirl so much.
Yeah, I got
You
to speak with
totally-
him recently, and
you
that was the biggest deal in my life.
You fangirl over C.J. Werleman like I fangirl over you. It's a little bit ridiculous.
Awesome. So hopefully within the next year we should be seeing.
Oh no, I would say September, October.
Sweet.
Nice.
Cool.
Just in
Fantastic.
time for Christmas.
So
We really wanted it for September because that's a good release time. But I don't know with the delays. We still have to design the cover. We still have to do the layout. There's work to be done still.
Hey, I know somebody who does some awesome design work. I mean, look at that cool logo down there.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also can
Take
draw.
your
I
wife.
can draw a badass Muhammad. So if you want that too, I'm offering.
At this point, I basically sit and wait. And I'm gonna get an email with some drawings in it, and they're gonna say, "What do you like?"
Yeah. Right. That one. There we go.
Good.
Nice.
I like that
So
one that looks pretty.
right. So it is 10:34. We have we've ran out of
Oh,
time.
we've gone over.
Yeah, we've got some.
Wow.
Well, it's
One
because
question.
he's so pretty.
I know, pretty and awesome.
And this is a special Monday edition. If people are staying up this late, they're already staying up this late.
Yeah,
Right.
well, they're already insane if they're on the East Coast. So there is that.
But I still feel like we got some awesome questions that I don't want
Yeah.
to miss out on here.
And definitely, well, I kind of want to either ask him, or I was thinking maybe we can steal Dan for another show.
Well, I don't think we have to steal him. Like, I think we could just probably ask.
Well, but I would rather hog tie him up and
kidnap him.
I think that we could talk like Dan is actually here.
Oh. Well, I guess yeah.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to call my people. Schedule something.
Right. Yeah,
They'll forward you my fees. First one's free. I'm like a drug dealer. I give you the first one for free.
Get a hold of your publicist.
Yes.
I will just IM-bomb the shit out of you again.
I get so.
And you're like
every
fucking
day.
Candice, shut up.
Yes.
Yes, I'll go on your show. Whatever.
Right.
Just shut up for 10 seconds.
Right? No, we definitely want to try to, we want to be there to help Kemp and push out your stuff because you do great things, and that you're very inspiring to me and to some of the other prophets here in this
And
room.
obviously
So
to me.
no one isn't really. Just stop. You know what? Stop talking. I'm talking. You stop talking.
I'm sorry.
No, but like I said, we really appreciate it. But so since it's near the end of the show, we really like to know, other than your awesome ass book
Pimp
that's
your
coming
shit.
out. Pimp yo shit. You got anything that you want to pimp? And tell us about, or tell the peeps about it.
Make sure you pick up the latest issue of American Atheist magazine. My first column piece is in there.
Yeah.
And it is about, it's about creationism. That's all I write about now.
Yes.
It's about why we don't teach the controversy.
Good.
And the dangers of pretending that it's a good idea.
Right.
And then I've already submitted my work for the next issue coming out someday. I don't know when. Which is, what did I write it about? I just wrote it too. I don't remember.
Right. The mystery. It's like a good relationship.
We're good.
You just keep it a mystery.
Yeah.
It was really great, though. I promise.
Yeah, definitely.
I wonder what it was about. I really don't remember. It was about evolution of some sort.
There you go.
Oh, you know what? It was about why creationists are so afraid of cosmos.
Oh yes.
You're writing on that again?
Yeah, I know.
They're
writing about all these
though.
different specific issues, but there's a big they're petrified of the show.
They really are.
I mean, they say the littlest thing and they freak out. Hey, look, there's a show about electricity. Boom, their heads explode.
Yeah.
The electric boy.
You just reminded me of Atheist Blobfish.
Yeah.
Heads explode.
Right.
But if anyone wants to follow me, at Dan Arel. My website's danarel.com, and I never update it. And once in a great while, I get bored and throw my articles up there. But yeah, if you go to danarel.com, you can at least get the links to where I'm writing, so you can check it out on Alternet and Salon and Huffington Post.
Nice.
And yeah, I have a couple new things coming up that I sadly can't say yet. But
cool.
Maybe when next time I'm here, I can say them.
Teaser.
Yes.
There you go. Teasers. Love them.
Candice, you got anything you want to pimp?
I was recently on. I just said fuck. I was trying so very hard to ignore and like.
Who was it?
Yeah. Well, okay. So Kira by me, Jake,
Paul.
And yeah, it was. And at I Raise You Facts, they were all giving me shit about how much I say and like, and somebody at one point said that I said and like 232 times, and I told them to fuck off, obviously. But I need to stop saying that. I'll get better, I promise. In any case, I do want to pimp Jake's most recent episodes of the Imaginary Friends show. I was on them with a couple of other really great people, and I followed them. I think everybody else should follow them. Do I remember their handles right now? No. But check out the Imaginary Friends show. And then, of course, my blog, which I haven't posted to in forever. But there's some pretty decent articles on there. That's nonprofitist.blogspot.com. Really? Are you counting? You I hate you so much right now. I hate you.
That was counting us also.
We're not friends anymore. I'm gonna block you on everything. FYI.
I'll just have to
because you're
start
an asshole.
spamming.
In any case, nonprofitist.blogspot.com, at nonprofitist on Twitter, and fuck you, David.
Fuck you, David.
By the
And
way,
that's what I have to say.
everyone should follow I Raise You Facts.
Yes, they
He is
love-
fantastic.
Yeah, he is awesome.
They are.
Yeah.
And he catches every last spelling error in every tweet I make.
Every last spelling error and anything that he can hashtag anal on, he totally does
It
it.
does, yeah. I saw that. I just noticed that recently, looking more at his stuff. It's just like, wow, there's a lot of anal. Not the good kind of anal. We're actually going to see the action, just the hashtag. So now I've got to imagine that stuff. You know?
Right.
It's like, come on, man, you got to make me work here. So speaking of fuck you, David. Fuck you, David. Do you have anything that you want to promote?
Well,
Fuck you,
of
David.
course I know. Of course, I always want to promote myself because we're getting closer and closer to the Warrior Dash. If you can look at the description down below, my wife and I are doing.
If somebody
the
other than David could please donate.
To him.
Holy crap!
Give him just $1 so that way at least it's $1 that's not his.
Like,
unfortunately,
not- yeah, exactly.
unfortunately, the smallest amount that you can donate is $30. But really, if you look at that, that's like coffee for the month for some people.
Donate it to his
I'm not
wife.
willing to give up my coffee for you.
Are you
I'll give
give us a coffee for a month?
Right?
I don't know
I'd
if I
rather-
care about any cause that much.
Exactly. I'd rather give it to your wife. Sorry.
Anyway, the links are in the description below. Of course, you know, I want to always pimp Karanafami Paul. He's
Fuck
just
yeah!
awesome.
Love
And, you know, future people
You
that we're gonna
really
be talking
need to stop
to.
sucking his dick, by the way.
It's so nice, though. But let's see.
Misogyny.
Future people that we're going to be talking to. David from My Book of Mormon, got to pimp him out. Jake Fawwanton from Imaginary
Jake
Show.
Fart Wharton.
Oh god, you totally said that wrong.
And Skeptically Challenged.
It's like,
Steve said that. That's
Alright.
Steve. The rest of us actually do want to talk to Jake because he's an interesting person. And I may be late in the game to this, but I recently stumbled across Rebecca Watson's YouTube channel from skepchick.org.
Oh.
Also on the
Yeah.
Skeptic's Guide
She's
to
got
the
some good
Universe
stuff.
podcast. Yeah, she has a YouTube
Mhm.
channel, and it's actually pretty interesting. I stumbled upon it, and
Jacqueline Glenn is also.
did you actually stumble
Yeah.
upon it? Like,
I
click
did.
the little...
like
Fantastic.
I just completely, I didn't even realize that it was out there, and it was just all like, oh, Rebecca Watson, she has a YouTube channel. Click.
There you go.
Yeah, and Jacqueline Glenn, we should actually try to get her on the show.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
I
But
don't
that's-
know who we would have to blow, bribe, or blackmail in order to get her on the show, but I'd totally do all three.
Well, I don't think we need to do anything. I'll just send her a message. I mean, hey, be like, hey, what's up, Steve Hayes? She'd be like, oh shit, these Steve Hayes, yes. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. But
that's all that I want to pimp out. So
yeah,
Good.
well, yeah, I don't know.
donate.
Yep.
Everyone should unfollow Martin Pribble.
I,
He
yes,
hates atheists.
he does. He does.
Yeah, he has a mad crush on S.E. Cup.
Me.
And yeah, he actually stands for Ray Comfort's banana argument. So
Yeah.
sorry, buddy. Yeah, no. So yeah, the Rebecca Watson thing, David. I'm not sure. I've got to look at that. I've heard there's mixed feelings about Rebecca Watson. I have.
Well,
so I'm
no,
not
I
sure.
know.
We can have a whole episode of my feelings.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you're not for her, right? Is that?
no. I mean, it was interesting to
think so.
stumble across her YouTube channel, but I do have to admit that some of her opinions are bullshit. Like her video on
How to be a professional victim.
Well, 5 tips to
Yeah.
Where was it? To debate creationists. Basically, she just kept saying, "No, don't do it. No, don't do it. No, don't do it." And it's like, what the fuck? We should be debating these people. We should be calling them out on their bullshit. We should be fucking ridiculing them out of existence. So some of her opinion is, but I.
Yeah, you know what? She makes fair points that she gets attacked and people say horrible, awful things to her, and she can be upset about that. And I think too many people attack her for saying that she's being attacked. I think when people threaten to rape and kill you, regardless if they're trolls on anywhere, then that's a problem, and she needs to bring it out. But I find too many times I turn on her channel, I hit play, and she's like, "Oh, hey, all you white misandrous men." That's not the way to start the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think she makes some valid points, but I think she goes about it the wrong way.
And that's I'm totally with you. That's why, like I said, I kind of have a mixed feeling about her. But
I think that it's just good to get other perspectives and to listen to other people's opinions when it comes down to it, because maybe you can learn something, maybe you can't. Yeah, they could be wrong, but it's good to know what people are saying. So
yes, well. Yes.
You shut up, Amanda. I see your messages.
You shut up, David.
I'm coming after you.
All right, I'll pimp my fun stuff. So I wanted to just pimp, obviously you already pimped Grant, find me, he's badass, love you, Paul. Some of the other fun shows that I've been listening to lately.
He's not a badass.
He is a badass. Imaginary Friend Show, I've been listening to Bible Reloaded, been listening to Cognitive Dissonance, and
Herd Mentality?
Herd Mentality is amazing. Adam Riggs. I'd love to get Adam on the show, so if you're listening, Adam, please hit us up.
I love Adam.
Too. But yeah, I wanted to say that there's a lot of awesome podcasts out there, a lot of patrons, and guys, please definitely donate to patrons, even if it's $1, $5. Like if you could donate $20 a month at most. I mean, give the guys who do some of this stuff some cred. It's awesome things. Other than that, definitely
Steve will show his butt on the next show if you donate shit.
I will. As a matter of fact, I will. I will be.
He's not afraid to whore himself out for money.
All of you with patrons, you just let me know how much that it came from me, and I will be happy to show my ass on air.
Yeah.
Twice, 3 times, however many times you want. I really don't care.
You really don't want to see it.
Yeah, Dan, check this out.
Oh my God!
No.
Are you gonna do it?
All right, so.
This is my kind of show.
Right? Hey, guys, check out our website. Check out our website.
This is for podcasting.
Yeah. www.thoughtprofits.com. Follow us on Twitter @Prophetcast and @ThoughtProfits. And check out our Google or Facebook group by simply searching for Thought Profits. Also, please subscribe to us. We're now also on iTunes. Please go to iTunes, subscribe, and rate us. That would be awesome. I would really appreciate it. Other than that, Dan, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank
you for having me. Thank you for going out of your way to schedule a special night for me.
Again,
hell yeah.
Fangirling a lot.
Again.
Right. So, Candice, thank you also for jumping in and saying what. Well, I don't want to say that you really helped or anything, but thanks for talking. She's muted. Perfect. And that's how it works. Just mute her. Thanks a lot for nothing.
Hey.
Next.
I hate you.
I love you, Candice. And David. David, my love. Thank you for co-hosting and being here. And always being there for me, and the viewers.
Oh my God, stop touching yourself over David.
Can you see that on air? Oh, man. Anyways,
pants on.
Once again, everybody, thank you again for joining us. We're Prophetcast. We are on 9:30. We're normally on 9:30 on Sundays on Pacific time. So check us out then, and you have a godless night.